Well, that's rather dramatic, but welcome into Titan Game Day morning, the first edition, week one. We finally made it to Titans and Giants. Buck Rising here with you. We're going to be doing this every game day morning, wherever I am, depending on the city. Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the Ashton Real Estate Group of Remax Advantage, and of course, the fine folks at Superbook Sports. Today, we are going to do the three keys needed to defeat the New York Giants for the Tennessee Titans. We will also give you a best bet, as is the custom. Got some great opportunities for you guys to make a little money. Of course, Austin and Zach will have pre, halftime, and post-game reaction after the game and throughout the course of the broadcast. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm headed over to do Titans radio right after this from Nissan Stadium. So if you're going to the game, I hope you'll stop by and say hi to Blaine Bishop, Mickey Ryan, and myself, because we will be hosting Titans, the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff from noon until 2. And then I'll head into the stadium and we'll do the damn thing. It's exciting. It's incredible. I'm looking forward to covering another season with you guys. So excited that I lost my voice last night and I'm going to sound like hell throughout the course of this thing, but that's all well and good. We're going to make it happen, baby. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get first, share this show. You know the drill. If you're a card-carrying member of the A to Z Sports family. If you're on Twitter, please retweet the show in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you are on YouTube or on Twitch, subscribe to the channel, throw a like on the video, do the damn thing. You know how. If you are on Facebook Live, you can share now to public. That would be greatly appreciated as you get your Facebook friends involved on this beautiful Sunday morning in Middle Tennessee. We would be happy to have any and all participants throughout the course of our brief but fun broadcast as we run back the Titan Game Day morning show. So, welcome into Titan Game Day morning from the Superbook Sports Studios. I got to get my weatherman thing figured out. Superbook Sports Studios right there. Proud as always to be presented to you from our friends at Two Rivers Ford. That's where you go for the best possible car buying experience. You know this. Two Rivers Ford, proud partners of some of your favorite sports teams, including the Nashville Predators in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. The Ashton Real Estate Group of Remax Advantage, Gary Ashton, a longtime Titans fan. Gary's going to be at the game today. You see the billboards all over town. You know that you can't sell without the intel that the Gary Ashton team can provide to you. And of course, Superbook Sports, where you can get in on all the action this football season and bet on every major sport in the Superbook Sports app. MB says, back where you belong, Buck. Sorry, Luke, but Buck was the founder of the Game Day Morning Show. So full disclosure, because we only have a brief time together this morning because I've got to run to do Titans radio. But I had considered bringing back the pumpkin spice latte and the bathrobe. The bathrobe is just down the hall as we broadcast from the office in my home in downtown Nashville. But I said, one, it's too hot for the bathrobe. Two, I'm losing the weight, and the worst possible thing that I could do is drink a 720 calorie coffee each morning for the next 17 mornings. So we're going to have to skip the pumpkin spice latte this year too. Perhaps though, when we have a little more time, the bathrobe will make its return. So let's start with three keys to the game. I'm going to give you mine, but I want one from you, just one. What is your biggest key for the Tennessee Titans to defeat the New York Giants today? Their 5.5-point favorites are the Titans in the Superbook Sports app. We will talk about the ins and outs. I've got three for you, but I simply need one from you and whomever else would participate this morning. Let me know in the comment section, and we will talk about it together. Peter Arce says, Buck, are you going to be at the stadium for the radio show? Yes, we are going to be outside the Pro Shop. So that would be on the east side of Nissan Stadium. There's a great stage setup that they have for us, literally right to the right of the Pro Shop. So if you're tailgating, come by, say hi. We'll be out there. I'm going to give you my first key to the game. But first, I got to tell you about Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford built my 2022 Ford Explorer custom for me and delivered it right to your door. That's the exact same thing that you can do at Two Rivers Ford when you go pay them a visit. You don't even have to go to Mount Juliet if you don't want to. You can custom order your new Ford at tworiversford.com. Go through every part of the process, color, customizable accessories in any model that you would like. Two Rivers Ford will get it done for you because they always want to make sure you get exactly what you need, whether it's a built for you or a certified pre-owned vehicle. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. So, what is your biggest key for the Tennessee Titans to be able to defeat the New York Giants today? Ryan Elaine says forced turnovers. Turnover battle we know is critical to any success in any football game. Now, if you watch the season opener between the Rams and the Bills turned the football over at a pretty high frequency and were still able to defeat the Rams. That's not typically how these things go down, and Buffalo was overwhelming on Thursday night. Until we see that Tennessee is substantially improved on offense, if that point comes at any point in the season, we will see how these things go. They have to take care of the football. They have to make sure that their turnover differential, that they finish on the correct side of the turnover differential. That's a good one by Ryan Elaine. Jonathan Folt says feed Henry. Now we're going to talk about Derek, and let me say this on the front end. Derek, I don't want to see them using Derek a lot early. If they are if Derek ends up with 25, 30 carries by the end of the game, I want that to be because they're giving him the ball late, because they've got the lead, they're bleeding the clock, and they want to make sure that they get this done. They are not efficient if they run Derrick Henry early. All the metrics, all the advanced metrics, and even the basic metrics say that they need to pass more on first down. They absolutely have to become a more efficient offense. This nonsense of establish the run, it's not a real thing anymore. We're not in the 1970s. They need to have a plan to put Derek in a position to succeed, to close out the game. He's your, for all of you baseball fans, he's your Edwin Diaz. You need Derrick Henry to close the game, not to dominate from the start. If you put him in positions to score in the red zone, fantastic. If he breaks a 60, 70-yard run and gives you an explosive play, exceptional. But I will tell you that this is not something I want to see from the Titans offense again. I don't want to see them leading the league in first down rushes. I don't want to see them leading the league in second and long rushes. I want to see them become a more efficient offense. That's my first key to the Titans' success. Now, this was something that has been debated at some length, and we will see what happens with Derrick Henry today. We will see what happens with Ryan Tannehill today. There are a lot of curiosities about both of these players. Jonathan Folt says, we ain't got the QB for that plan, Buck. You do. Ryan Tannehill is good enough. He's not the best quarterback in the world. He doesn't have to be. You have to make life easier on him. You have to make life easier on Derek. Now, if they can't pass protect for shit again this year, we don't know that yet. We'll find out soon enough. If they cannot pass protect for the quarterback, well, then your season's banged anyway. The excuse cannot be to run the football more because you don't have the quarterback to be efficient on passing downs. You can gain 4 yards on first down with a quick throw, spread it out, empty sets, catch the ball or catch the snap, get the ball out, keep the ball moving. Put yourself in better positions to make Derek successful. So you're not running on first down, running on second down. All of a sudden you're in third and long, and you put Ryan Tannehill in a position to drop it back and be vulnerable again. They cannot do this. Now, if they are not improved as an offensive line unit, then it's not going to matter what Ryan can do or can't do. It's not going to matter what Derek can do or can't do. Their offensive line needs to go above and beyond based on what we saw last year. Can they do it? We haven't seen that yet, but we will certainly find out in just a few hours from now. Got 2 more keys to the game to give you, and we'll read some more of your comments. Alan Lathrop said he'd like to see Henry catch the ball more in space. I agree with that assessment. I would like them to get Derek, just playmakers. Derek, Traylon, Kyle Phillips, Robert Woods, find creative ways to get your playmakers the ball in space. Derrick Henry can be involved in the passing game and was trending that way before he ended up getting hurt. I'm excited to see our new receivers play today, says Billy Jones. Well, we'll talk about those receivers momentarily, right after I tell you about our friends at the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. GaryAshton.com is where you go for your dream address without the stress. The Ashton team will put you in a position to succeed with the Intel Edge to sell your home for more. Gary Ashton is the official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators. Gary is a diehard Titans fan. His team works in Middle Tennessee. They live in Middle Tennessee, and they are making life better for Middle Tennesseans with that Intel Edge. You need to succeed. Go to GaryAshton.com for more information. So, 3 keys to the game. The first and foremost, as we talked about, there needs to be a situation where they put Ryan Tannehill in positions to succeed, but the turnover differential, of course, is the most important. Jay Adkins says there are no keys, just play and show up. Well, of course, that's ridiculous. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's not something that the football coaches are going to tell them when they're not going to walk in there and be like, hey, just go get them, boys. Slap them on the ass and get out there. No, of course not. That's nonsense. The keys are something that Mike Vrabel writes on the board for each opponent each and every week. You cannot sit there and say that there are no keys to the game when that is the complete opposite of how a football team operates, how a coaching staff operates. And certainly, I would hope that you would want your coaching staff to have a better plan for that. So that's nonsense. As far as what this game plan will look like, though, we know that we are going to see Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley did not have a good season last year. Their offensive line in New York was also terrible. But I had Bud Dupree on my radio show, I believe Wednesday, and I asked him about Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley and what kind of threats they pose.
We talked to Byard on Monday, and basically his line was, it's not Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, but what they do offensively has the potential to have some similarities. This is a quarterback who has displayed the ability to move. He's going to run. He's going to make plays with his legs, and obviously Saquon Barkley seems to be rounding back into form after dealing with injuries. What are kind of the team keys this week when it comes to the run defense against 2 players who you know are going to try and take advantage of some opportunities there?
Yeah, definitely, man. We got to stop the run on that aspect of it. Daniel. Let's start with Saquon. Saquon is not a fluke. Saquon is an animal at his state. So anytime you let a lion out of the cage, you got to be prepared for anything he's going to do. So we got to make sure we're containing him. He's a great player. Make sure we get our hats on him at all times, not running away from contact. We got to go meet him, bring it to him. And also, Daniel Jones, he's a very athletic player. Kind of don't really get a lot of recognition for it. So if you're sitting back thinking that it's sweet with him, or he may not run you over, you're gonna get ran over. So we got to put it in his face each and every time to let him know that we're here as well, because he's gonna bring it. He has something to prove right now. And both of those guys have something to prove right now, man. So we got to go out and continue to make sure that we're not the people they prove it on. So that's part of it.
He's Bud Dupree, Titans outside linebacker.
So that's Bud Dupree on the radio show on Wednesday, and he views Saquon as a far greater threat than I've seen Saquon Barkley be in quite some time. But that does not mean that he can be discounted, and certainly the defense will swarm. Full tilt to the tackle, as Mike Vrabel says. The second key to the game, turnover battle is first. The second, make sure that you contain Saquon Barkley. They will have creative ways to try and beat you. They will try and also get their playmakers in space. Wan'Dale Robinson, Kadarius Toney, Daniel Jones and his ability to move. He's not a mobile quarterback, but he's a pocket passer that can run. And you are dealing with a banged up both outside linebacker core and inside linebacker core, because you will recall that, and somebody asked me if I was slinging a piece of jerky around. No, this is one of my favorite red pens that I like to make very vigorous marks with before I'm getting ready for the pregame radio show and the game day morning show. But what I will say to you is this: Ola Adeni is on the injury report this week. He is listed as questionable. You know that Harold Landry is out. Chance Campbell, as a part of your linebacker depth, he was put on IR earlier this week, as was Elijah Molden. So we don't know who their starting slot corner and who's going to be playing in the nickel for them. Ugo Amadi maybe, but he's fresh off the street. So they have to be disciplined. They have to contain. And it starts with stopping Saquon Barkley, because he's the known commodity. And then if somebody else beats you, you've got to be able to adjust on the fly. In-game adjustments also going to be critical in this one. The second key to the game, pass protection plan. I expect, and I've talked about this several times on radio, on streaming, on podcasts, whatever. I expect Nick Petit-Frere in his first NFL start as a rookie right tackle, I expect him to have some considerably bad snaps today. I expect them to throw all manner of crazy shit at him the way that Wink Martindale was going to do anyway. But they particularly, in a big red pen just like this one, they're going to circle number 78 and say, that guy, that's the side we're going at because he doesn't know what's coming. And so I hope that they have, and I am certain that they have prepared contingency plans to help Chip with tight ends, with running backs, to help that protection, to give Ryan Tannehill an extra fraction of a second to make sure that Nick Petit-Frere is not left on an island. But that means that they need Taylor Lewan to be able to handle one-on-one assignments. The biggest question for New York today is whether Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau are going to play. It seems trending towards the negative. It seems trending towards they are not going to participate, but we will find out about an hour and a half before kickoff. So I guess that would be, about 2 o'clock is when we will see who is in, who is out. We already know the called up from the practice squad, Joe Jones and Trenton Cannon, which means they're walking into this game with 6 backs, including the fullback, which, I mean, whatever, man. We'll see what happens there. But, yeah, there's 6 backs on the roster right now. We'll see who ends up being up for the 46-man game day roster. Let's do a best bet, and then I've got to get out of here and scramble over to pregame radio at Nissan Stadium. The best bet, though, is what I am going to give you now, courtesy of Superbook Sports. It has to do with Derrick Henry, and I know a lot of you are going to want to hammer this, and you're going to need to hammer this in the Superbook Sports app. Download the Superbook Sports app today. You will have lines up and available for every NFL game for the rest of the season. You can bet today on the Titans and the Giants. You can also bet next week with the Bills on Monday Night Football. You can bet every game for the season, every NFL team, all regular season long in the Superbook Sports app. They will put you in a position to succeed. They will also match your first bet up to $1,000, and you can also wager on every major sport in the Superbook Sports app. So bring Vegas to the palm of your hand. They'll match your first bet up to $1,000, whether it wins or loses, as I mentioned. Terms and conditions, go to superbook.com. Gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. So this week's best bet, it's quite simple. Derrick Henry as an anytime touchdown scorer, -135. It's this week's Titans odd boost presented by Superbook Sports. Derrick Henry is very, very difficult to stop. Derrick Henry, if he is in the game, he is going to be fed the ball. If they are inside the 20, he's their best weapon to use. Derrick Henry as an anytime touchdown scorer, -135 right now in the Superbook Sports app. And that is this week's best bet of the week, courtesy of Superbook Sports. Let's see. It would be nice if Isaiah Wilson and Radens were starting today and being competent to perform. Well, it would be nice, but neither of them. I don't know where Isaiah Wilson is in the world. I hope that he is okay. I know where Dylan Radens is. He's sitting his ass on the bench because he lost the starting right tackle job after they gave him 1,000,001 chances to win it. And that's fine. He can continue to improve and work in the shadows. But in the meantime, he's not helping you right now. And if he has to play, there are going to be problems because clearly he's not ready. So with all that being said, I don't know how this game is going to go. I just hope it's entertaining. And I think that we could see some interesting results between these two teams. And I'm looking forward to talking about it for the next 2 hours, starting at noon on the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff on 104.5 The Zone. Blaine Bishop, Titans legend. Mickey Ryan, also a legend in his own right. And I will be with you from noon until 2. Titans Countdown starts at 2 o'clock. I will be back on Titans Radio before they interview Mike Vrabel with Jimmy Wyatt and Rhett Bryan for the Titans Insider segment about 15 minutes before kickoff. Enjoy the game. Enjoy your afternoon. Enjoy the football. It's back and better than ever. And I will see you tonight live from Nissan Stadium on A to Z Sports Prime Time.